All right, we are up and running right now. So thank you guys for joining us today. We have a guest here that's going to talk to us, real estate agents, about do we need to be on payroll? This topic has come up a number of times. So if you have never met me before, my name is Andrea Wilson. I am the real estate broker over at Brick House Realty. And we usually do a training for agents, for any agent, any state, any brokerage, at least once a month on various topics that come up, usually not CE, just informative, just ways to either grow your business or how to do better business and making sure that you have everything covered. So today we're going to be talking to Wayne here. He's going to share some information about payroll services. I think you were bringing a guest on. I'm not sure if it's one of the gentlemen here, but go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay, well, my name is Wayne McPherson. I am an employee with Paychecks. So I also brought with me one of my colleagues, Joshua Barrows, as well as Tracy Newman, who is one of our affiliates with My Corporation. So just to give you guys—
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hello. Or good afternoon. Good
Hi,
morning.
nice to meet you. Good morning for me.
All right. So I wanted to just let you guys know, first of all, Andrea, thank you for allowing us to be able to come on. The way this kind of happened is that Andrea and I actually went live on Facebook, and we spoke about wealth building. And, you know, during that call, we got a chance after we finished there to be able to speak about payroll. And she gave me the opportunity to be able to speak to some of her agents, but this was open to all agents, about the importance of being able to pay yourselves and how to be able to go about it. And just today, we want to just take some time to just share some of the options that you guys would have as far as going about paying yourselves, because one of the big things that happens with real estate agents come the end of the year, especially if you're a successful real estate agent, is that when it's time to pay taxes. So what we want to do is today, we want to just bring some information to you guys to show you how to be able to alleviate some of those concerns, so you don't have to run into those issues that we in the field that we're in. We're dealing with a lot of small businesses, independent contractors, what we see all the time. So we want to be able to just take you guys through some things and, you know, see what you guys think. So Andrea, if it's okay, can you give me access to be able to share my screen? All right. And I'm not going to keep you guys very long. We're going to go through this, you know, kind of get through the basics of it. And as we're going through, we'll allow you guys to be able to ask some questions and everything like that, and then let you guys get on with your day.
Are you able to share?
Let's see. Yes, thank you. Let's see. Okay, can everybody see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, so let's see. So this was put together specific to you guys. So I'm just going to go ahead and go through it. So today's goals, one of today's goals is we want to help bring home more money. Oh, I'm sorry. Here, hold on. I just had something happen here. Sorry about that. Okay, this didn't occur the way I needed it to. I'm sorry about this. Can you guys still see my screen?
No, we can't see it.
All right, we see it now.
All right, there we go. All right, so definitely we want to be able to help to bring home more money and put it into your pockets. And in addition to it, we want to be able to help to reduce time on administrative tasks so you can focus on your real estate business. So going on from there, part of our agenda is going to be discussing the differences between S-Corp Advantage versus sole proprietorship, business tax obligations, payroll management outsource, education available from Paychecks, and special savings for real estate agents. Okay, so S Corp advantage versus sole proprietorship. So, oh my gosh, what just happened here? I'm so sorry, guys. This is my computer is jumping all over the place. I'm just gonna have to do it this way. I'm sorry. So first, let's look at what a sole proprietor or self-employed classification is versus an S corporation. Then we're going to walk through. How we can. How we can redistribute your taxes to help you to do what was said 2 slides ago, and that's to bring home more money for you. So self-employment taxes. Self-employment taxes are Social Security and Medicare tax for individuals who work for themselves. You are self-employed if you carry on a trade, business as a sole proprietor or an independent contractor. You are also a member of a partnership that carries on trade or a business, or you are otherwise in business for yourself. Let's see, and you must pay self-employment tax if you had net earnings of $400 or more, and this is supposed to say 2020, and that's an error on my part. My apologies for that. So what is an S Corp? An S Corp is a business entity structure that takes that income you had as a self-employed person and allows it to flow through corporation without being taxed until it is claimed as income. And that income can be divided into 2 portions. One portion is a fair and reasonable salary, and the other is a distribution. So these 2 portions are taxed differently, and the salary has all applicable payroll taxes taken out, while distribution only is subject to income taxes. So you may be asking, what is the difference between self-employment taxes and S Corp payroll taxes? So what I want to do is I want to stop and I want to take a quick moment to just kind of like bring in Tracy Newman. Tracy, would you be able to just give a description of the difference between those 2?
Yeah, there's a little bit more to it than what's on the slide, but basically
Right.
sole proprietor, yeah, you're in business for yourself. You probably pay more in FICA taxes, which is like Medicare, Social Security, withholding, income tax, federal, all that fun stuff that normally comes out of your paycheck, comes out of like your gross income for the year. So you end up kind of paying more in self-employment tax by not being on a W-2 payroll, which again, you'd have to be incorporated to do so. An S Corp election, actually, just to make sure it's clear, S Corp is not really how your structure is formed. It's the way that you're taxed. So for an LLC, let's say you guys decide to form an LLC, which is good for small businesses or one individual. When you're taxed as an S Corp, that allows you to go on payroll. If you decide to form an actual corporation, an INC, the benefit of being taxed as an S Corp is so you can save in federal taxation because you get double taxed as a corporation. So the S election allows you to save in double federal taxation. So most of you guys in your industry that I've come across in the 20 years that I've done this, normally they form LLCs. It's just one person. You know, your taxes are done through your personal income tax. It makes it a lot easier. The flow is better, and there's not as much formalities to deal with. So basically, just again, to give you an idea of why it's a real benefit to go on payroll for yourselves is, let's say you bring in a gross, just as an example, of $100,000 for the year. When the end of the year comes and you do your taxes, all those taxes that normally would come out of a normal paycheck will come out of the company's gross. And so there's a lot more being taken out because that gross is so high. So if you go on payroll, what you do is you pay yourself a reasonable salary. Like, let's say you want to make $50,000 a year, $60,000 a year, and you grossed 100. Then the business taxes come out of the 40,000 remaining, and then the FICA taxes come out of your payroll check, which is a lot less. So it's you're saving in taxes because you're paying FICA taxes out of 60 grand versus $100,000. And it also allows you to, to pay in Social Security and have proof of income and things of that nature. So it is a real benefit for you guys to eventually, take that step and get incorporated, form the LLC, and then put yourself on payroll. It makes your life a lot easier rather than having to come up with all your tax at the end of the year and pay a lot more out. So that's kind of a minimal difference on sole prop versus, forming an LLC and putting yourself on payroll.
And I just took the presentation down because my I don't know what's going on at all times for my computer to just start going crazy on me, but it's okay because a lot of what it is that we want to talk about anyway, it's better for it to be at this point more conversational anyway, because what it is that we want to basically explain, a lot of what Tracy said, and I appreciate that, is as independent contractors, and especially as real estate agents, we all know that once that money comes in and we've become successful in our trades, and unless you're like that really truly that responsible person that's taking a percentage of your earnings when once you're getting paid by your brokerage and actually putting it to the side in a savings, or unless you have, if you're still working your day job where you're probably able to file your taxes and write some things off to be able to offset those taxes. In most cases, when the end of the year comes and that tax bill comes, you're going to have a CPA or whoever your tax specialist is going to be running around trying to find things to write off to be able to kind of close that gap. And what we want to do is we want to alleviate that issue in itself, to make it where, give you guys some options to make it where it's like, hey, I don't necessarily trust that I'm bringing all of this money in, and hopefully you guys are out here grinding and you guys are selling houses and everything like that with the way that the market is, everybody's killing it. We definitely don't want to see you guys in the predicament that we've seen a lot of other people in your field, where it's the end of the year and next thing you know, you got this big tax bill because you've made $100,000 this year. And then they're saying, hey, you're going to owe us about 20 to 30,000 of that. So what we want to do is give you guys some options of where you can save a big portion of that tax money by being able to open up an LLC or S corporation and be able to tax yourself as an S corp in order to be able to alleviate that issue. So I want to stop there and see if anyone on the call has any questions.
I had a question. Is there a certain amount that a real estate agent needs to make where this makes sense to set up payroll for yourself?
So for this to really make sense, because with that 15.3%, unless you're bringing in at least 40K a year, you're going to be responsible for that 15.3% in self-employment taxes, no matter what. Once you're making at least 40K a year, that's when you kind of get into that territory of definitely wanting to be able to put yourself on payroll, because that's when you can actually split it up from paying yourself as an employee and being able to take a distribution with your company.
Okay. So if you are a newer agent and you're kind of building up towards this, is there a way that can they start putting money away for taxes to pay those taxes quarterly, or is there anything that they can do?
Absolutely. So here's another option. Like even being under that amount, you can always still put yourself on payroll and then just pay yourself a certain amount. It doesn't even have to be a humongous amount. But just as an independent contractor and wanting to be able to stay off the books and not be not raise any red flags as far as any auditors go, you do have the option definitely of being able to put that money to the side, but you're going to have to account for it later.
Can you explain a little bit of what this would look like? Obviously, as real estate agents, we close on deals, we like to say by a certain date, but sometimes the contract extends. A lot of times, actually, the contract extends, it falls through. So it's inconsistent for us.
Yeah.
So what does that look like if we put ourselves on payroll and we're expecting a deal to close, we don't get that check, it extends, just that whole piece of it?
So that's actually a great question. So in a situation like that, that kind of like it kind of like goes back to what I was just speaking about previously, as far as being able to pay yourself something. So let's say, for example, you have the month of January, you killed it. You have a $10,000 commission check that just came in. Now, as far as that 10,000, you can actually, over a course of time, kind of like distribute your money to yourself to make it where, like, if you do have those months where, hey, hey, we didn't really bring anything in, you can still pay yourself because when the money comes in, if you've opened up an LLC or something like that, something else that I would recommend is that you still open up a bank account as well. And what you want to do is you want to pay yourself a certain amount from out of that bank account, but you can always leave something in there to be able to pay yourself still during those other months. So that's an option. Or if it's one of those months where, let's just say, for example, you didn't have the money there, you could put a pause on your payroll for that month. So you're not necessarily obligated to have to run a payroll. I mean, we're not going to force you to run a payroll if there's no money to run a payroll service with. That would be just something that you would contact myself about, or you're going to have your own payroll specialist that you can inform them of, and you could just put things on pause until, if business, kind of like dwindles down a little bit like that. We got some other people on here.
Yeah, anybody else have any questions?
Can I make a comment?
Absolutely.
No, I was just going to say, also, if you guys do decide to go that route, if you have any questions, for me, I'll have Wayne or Josh send you my information. If you guys want to know what the fees are to form the company, things like that, they can send you my information. That way, you guys can be in contact with me. You guys are all based in Ohio? Is that correct?
I believe so.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, most of the states in that side of the continent are inexpensive to form, so it's not an expensive
Someone just
transition either. So.
Someone in the chat just said they're in Alabama.
Okay, got it. Alabama. So yeah, I mean, definitely Wayne, send my information. So if they have questions on fees and what the pricing is, if they go that route, and then I can, circle them back to you when they're ready, or Josh if they decide to move.
Here's a question are there fees with putting yourself on payroll? So Michelle asked, are there fees with putting yourself on payroll? There are fees associated with being able to put yourself on payroll. And that's something that I'm going to ultimately get to as well throughout the presentation, which I'll pull that back up to be able to go to that, to that slide just for that. But a question that I do have is, does anyone have any questions as far as what the process looks like as far as being able to open up an LLC or being able to get your tax ID number, pretty much related to what Tracy just spoke about? Does anyone have any questions about what that looks like?
I have a question on what that process look like.
Okay.
So I go and apply for my LLC, and then I open up a business bank account and I pay myself out of that account, but I use you guys' services. How does that look? How does that process go?
You mean, how does the setup process go, or how does it go as far as just the steps of everything that it is that you've mentioned?
Both.
Okay, so as far as setting up an LLC, that's something that it is that you would set up with the state of Ohio. Of course, you're going to set up your articles of organization. There's also, you would going, of course, set up your employee ID number, which is tax ID number, EIN, whichever one you want to refer to it as. In addition to that, the other question would be, the other answer to your other question as far as the payroll, you would just contact me. And with contacting me, there's some information that it is that I would receive from you, as far as I would get that federal document from you, which would be your tax ID number. Let's see, here, you know what? I can do it this way. There's a way for me to, maybe I don't have any. So to be able to get started, like we have, you can also give me either voided check that would help us get started, and employee company name, company information. Now, in substitute of the voided check, I would also send out what's called a bank form, where it would just be you let me know which bank account you're going to pay yourself out of. In addition to it, we have two other documents. One of them is called an employee info form, where it would just tell me who the employee would be, which would be you yourself. It would have like ask for your social, birthday, address, things of that nature. And lastly, outside of that, it would be your direct deposit form, as far as the account that you would pay yourself into. Now, what we would discuss before then, we would discuss like how often you would want to pay yourself. A lot of times when I speak to real estate agents, because of the way that money comes in, they normally pay themselves once per month. So typically they set themselves up on a monthly payroll service, and I would send over a proposal letting you know exactly what services that would be incorporated, and also let you know what that pricing would be.
The other thing, as real estate agents, in order for you to be able to pay you that LLC, you have to do a filing with the state. So the form is located on the state's website. So you want to download that form wherever you are official, so that your broker is able to pay you directly in the name of that LLC.
I'm sorry, I'm getting some feedback from somebody. I don't know if they're in the car. I couldn't really hear you too good.
Can
Okay,
you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Okay. What I was saying was that you need to make a filing with the state, the Division of Real Estate, wherever you are, to get the authorization so your broker can pay you into that LLC. Because as it stands, when you're issued your license, the broker can only pay the individual that's on that license name until you get that approval from the state. So
Mhm.
that's another piece of all of this that you want to do. Set up your business name, but you want to fill out the form that's located on the Division of Real Estate's website to get that approval, so you're able to get paid into that LLC or whatever entity you choose.
Okay, so here's a question that was also asked. It says, with an LLC, is it better to file separately from your personal taxes? Joshua or Tracy, is this something that you guys can speak to?
I know a little bit about it. I mean, we don't get trained too much on taxes, but from what I know, usually when you have an LLC, your business taxes go through your personal, like it's all done at once. It's not separate, I believe. But it also could be a state by state case. So generally speaking, in my world, I would definitely say, talk to a CPA or an accountant to get those details. But from what I've heard over the years, it should be passing through your LLC, like your personal taxes go through your business. I think it's kind of all combined. But again, you can double check with an accountant or a CPA.
Yeah, that's one of those things where like what Tracy just said, as far as speaking to an accountant or a CPA. As a matter of fact, Andrea. Andrea's.
So typically, if it's a single member LLC, then you're going to file that. And I'm not a CPA, by the way. I have an accounting degree. So let me just want to talk. Let me give that disclaimer before they say you said. You always want to check with your CPA, your attorney, for all of this that you're hearing today. But typically, if it's going to be a single member LLC, you're going to file it with your personal taxes, and then you have that
Right.
that gets attached to it. When you have multiple members, when you make someone else a member of that LLC, then that's when you're going to end up filing that separately.
Correct. Yeah, I actually just looked it up, and that is correct. The IRS disregards the LLC as a separate entity, distinct from the owner, and so essentially that just means that you're personally responsible for all tax payments and filings.
Absolutely. And that question was from, okay, M. Jones. Okay. And are there filing fees put on? Okay, I already answered that question. Okay. So here's another question I want to ask. Has anyone that's on this call currently have any of you already any of you currently have an LLC opened up for yourselves, as far as how you want to be able to go about being paid as an agent currently? Okay. Okay, so M. Jones said that they do. And are you currently using payroll service, or how are you going about currently paying yourself? Or are you? Not at the moment. Okay. Okay. So
I was going to say, I guess, Wayne, can you just go back and kind of touch on the benefits? You know, I think people don't understand, from a self-employed 1099 worker. Actually, I even just had an agent that filed for unemployment, and I received the paperwork and I had to send it back because you're a 1099 employee.
right.
So people really don't understand what it is being self-employed and being on payroll. And to further this point, we've been seeing in the news right now about mortgage rates being really low. And so
Mhm.
personally, I was like, oh, you know what? Let me see if we can get our interest rate lowered on our home mortgage. And when I called my mortgage company to say, well, it was another company to get about a lower rate. And they asked me, well, are you self-employed? And I was like, yes. Well, they wouldn't even take my application right now because they said that it's being denied. They're right now, because of the restrictions on the loans, and it's just I didn't even file and didn't check my didn't do anything. The fact that I
Wow.
was self-employed was high risk to them during COVID. So
Wow.
so many people are, they had to verify the income and everything. But if I were on payroll service, I could have said, well, no, you know what I'm saying? How that
Yeah.
just changed that. So
Yep.
I didn't even get I didn't apply. I mean, I could have forced the issue to do that, but people don't, I don't think they don't understand that connection. You can make the same amount of money, but by putting in a payroll service, it makes all the difference.
You know what? That's actually great that you just brought that up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of like combine my paychecks hat and my knowledge of the real estate industry. So one thing I want to start off with is just giving the differences between the W-2 employee and an independent contractor. So of course, W-2 employees, that's where you're actually working for an actual company. You're an employee of that company. You receive a paycheck. They've already withheld your taxes and everything like that, where it kind of like is the complete opposite of what we've been talking about on this call this entire time. So now, as real estate agents, although you guys are required to have to be connected to a brokerage in order to be able to operate with your license and everything like that, you are not, you are still considered self-employed and an independent contractor, which means that you're in business with for yourself, although you guys are connected to Brick House or any other real estate brokerages that you may be associated with. Now, to speak to the point of what Andrea just said, when she said she went and spoke to the lender. Now, what she said is that if she was paying herself, it would have been different. Well, so when you are an independent contractor or work or self-employed or anything like that, especially when you're going to deal with the lender, you have to be able to show that you have been operating self-employed, or even if you're in any type of job that you are with where it's commissioned only, you have to be able to show that you have been associated with this company for at least 2 years, or even as a real estate agent, you have to be showing that you have been getting income for at least 2 years for a lender to even be able to use your income for a loan or anything like that. But on the flip side, let's say if you do have that LLC opened up, if you're paying yourself through that LLC, although it's your company, you're paying yourself as an individual person. So it's almost like you've become an employee of yourself. But guess what? You can, what's going to happen is as you're paying yourself, you're also going to get a W-2 for yourself, although you've been paying yourself through your own company. So now if she would have been in that position where she was paying herself in that type of way, then when she would have been able to provide that to that lender, and whatever it is that they had as far as whatever type of freeze due to COVID, she would have been able to get right through it. Is that what you're more speaking to, Andrew?
Mm-hmm. That's
Okay.
that's exactly what it was. If I would have had myself on payroll, it would have been no questions asked because I would have had the time frame. But the fact that I was self-employed, that was risky for them.
Yeah.
And so I couldn't take advantage. I could have pressed the issue, but I just didn't. But I couldn't take advantage of, I got an offer for like 2.25% interest rate, right? So, and that could make a big difference for someone if you have a high interest rate that you're paying on your home. So I just think as real estate agents, we want to be able to buy the very thing that we sell to so many other people. We want to be able to buy houses too. And we have to position ourselves so that, especially if you're rolling out of a full-time job into full-time real estate, you want to
Yeah.
position yourself in a place that you're going to have the income. Like we want to at least make a lateral move. We don't want to go from working 9 to 5, you're making 60,000 to no, can't buy anything. So.
And it's funny that you brought this up, Andrea, because not just in you guys' field, just period. It's I've had a lot of new business owners that have reached out to me to say, hey, I need to put myself on payroll and I can't because I'm trying to purchase a home. I just recently just had a lady with that had a painting company, and she had a couple of her, she had a husband and wife that were working together. They wanted to purchase a home, but found out that because they hadn't been working for her long enough as a 1099 contractor, that they couldn't get a home. So they asked to be put on payroll to be able to receive a W-2 because they wanted to purchase a home. So this is definitely a great benefit to any of you that are not currently homeowners or that want to be able to refinance in the future for their lower interest rates or looking to be able to go into another home or anything like that. This is definitely a good thing to be able to have going on for yourself and being able to pay yourself through that, to be able to show that you are getting that income through a company.
Yeah, I had, this was many years, my early years in the business, I was with another brokerage, and it was probably like my second year. And I remember there was a lady who went to file her taxes, and she was a mega seller in the business, and she owed like a ridiculous amount of money. And I just remember her breaking down in the office because if they come to you with a tax bill and say, "Oh, you owe $60,000," and she just lost it because she didn't have it, and so what do you do? And so she obviously she made it through. She worked out a payment plan with them, but you never really want to be in a situation where you owe all of these taxes and you can't afford to pay it.
Yeah, you definitely don't. And the IRS, if there's anyone that you can't run from, it's the IRS. There is no, it's just going to go on your credit report and then you pay it when you want to or anything like that. The IRS is coming, they're garnishing, they're doing whatever it is that they have to do. And in addition to it, that's just the money that it is that you owe. We're not even talking about the penalties that they're going to slap on top of it, the late fees and all of those other additional things for not paying. So it's kind of like one of those things at the end of the day where it's like, it's being honest with yourself also. So we can speak about the benefits of it if you're making a certain amount of money as far as what you can save, as far as those self-employment taxes, but also we got to speak to the other side of it as far as the discipline of everything. Are you disciplined enough to say that, hey, do you even know what percentage of your money that you need to put to the side? That's even a question. So, are these things that you even want to think about, or do you want to be able to pay a low cost? Like if I told you that, hey, for $500 for a year, this is something that you can take off your plate. Well, I'm gonna say this. My wife is a real estate agent, and I know, I know what type of money real estate agents can make, and for the cost, for what it would cost for you to make sure that you protect yourself from the IRS. Trust and believe me when I tell you, it's definitely worth the money.
So Wayne, what about health insurance? So when you're paying it through your employer, they usually have like that section 125, and so then you don't pay, as you're not double taxed on that money. Are we able to do something like that as a smaller plan of payroll service to help, so to pay for our insurance and not be taxed on that money, kind of that setup?
Now, are we talking about medical insurance?
Medical.
Okay, so Joshua, can I bring you in on this one? You're still muted.
Go ahead. What was the question?
She was asking about being able to pay medical insurance, and she asked about Section 125.
Got it. So medical insurance and also what 401k as well, or
No,
the medical benefits specifically?
Yeah, can you kind of re-ask that question, Andrew?
I was asking, under this plan, would we have an option to kind of save in terms of like for our medical insurance? For most employers, it kind of runs through that Section 125. But as you brought up about 401k, because we don't have 401k, what are some options for retirement for us as agents by setting ourselves up?
So just a brief overview. So just in regards to just being able to pay for your medical insurance, that is a possibility as well too. Here at Paychex, we're big at partnering. As you know, like we brought Tracy on here and we have a benefit specialist that will be able to go over those options with you to where everything is just streamlined on one service. So, if you were to set up on our software or our platform, all of those deductions will be automatically calculated and taken out. I don't know what the exact price and the cost is for medical insurance, but you can have that all integrated so that all of those deductions are taken out so that you're still paying into those benefits as well. Now, in regards to the 401k, actually, that's another great talking point as well too, because talk about tax sheltering. When you put yourself on W-2 as a LLC and being taxed as an S corp, you have two advantages. One is, of course, saving on that 15.3% on taxes, but then also if you lock on a 401k, you're saving for your long-term retirement. But in addition to that, there's also tax benefits as well for putting yourself on 401k as well too, because you're sheltering that money from being taxed and protecting that money from going to Uncle Sammy, as we like to call him. But overall, you know, if you have that all set up for yourself and have it all integrated, you know, not only are you protecting yourself and paying into your health benefits, but also, you know, thinking not only short term, but also long term, you know, being able to shelter yourself from those taxes as well, having it protected in what we call a 401k, and then also, you know, saving for your long term as well too. We did a calculation with one of our 401k partners, and we were able to save another business owner around $7,000 from being taxed from Uncle Sam and keeping that all integrated all in one platform. So there are advantages to having that all integrated in one place, and that's something that Wayne can definitely help you guys out with. Hopefully that answered your question. Did that?
Yes.
Yeah, and that is definitely another great what Joshua just spoke about as far as 401k and being able to, that being another benefit as far as being able to save money on your taxes as well. And that is actually something that we do. Like he said, our partner, we have a 401k partner that would be able to speak to that a whole lot greater than what we would be able to. And he's constantly being able to save people money. And Andrea, from a conversation that we've had previously, I think that that would definitely be a discussion I would love to be able to have with you, Mark, and Mark with my partner as well.
Okay, cool.
I thought Mark was going to be on this call. Where's Mark?
He's doing windows today.
Is he?
And sorry if I can make a comment. Sorry about that. So, you know, a lot of independent contractors, they really don't realize how much money they're leaving on the table by not having it set up the right way. And I know it's just because a lot of times it's one, not having, you know, trusted advisors to be able to inform them on how much money you're leaving on the table. And then also just giving you the peace of mind, knowing that, hey, the money that's coming in, you're keeping it. You're sheltering that money, keeping it in place, and you're having one solid organized system, you know, to be able to properly, one, pay yourself, because you are working for yourself. You know, you put in a lot of hard work, you're selling those homes, you get the money, right? And oftentimes you don't know exactly what to do with it. And it's kind of hard to really have that separation from what's work and what's your personal income. So more importantly, you know, you'll be able to have that system set in place for yourself and give yourself a peace of mind and set yourself up for growth, you know, should you decide to, you know, to grow your, you know, grow your practice and take it to the next step.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, so we have income stability, we have tax shelters, we have stronger reporting for us or financials for us. So it sounds like it's going to cost us a lot of money to do all of this.
At least a million a month. So what I want to do is you're talking about the money part now. So I will say this, you know, you did me a great service by even allowing me the opportunity to be able to speak to your agents about all of this. So what I wanted to speak to you guys about today is one thing I want to say just in general. Andrea, you see me on social media, always marketing, always trying to save people money with payroll, also talking to them about PPP loans, just everything. And a big reason why I do this is because, especially when it comes to independent contractors or, you know, owner operated, a lot of times we don't necessarily take care of our businesses and we're not compliant because of exactly what you just said. You said it sounds like a lot of money. And for a lot of people, it is a lot of money. And what I want to do is I want to be able to, you know, offer something back today. What I'm prepared to do for yourself and any one of your affiliates, for us to be able to give you the service that you would need, we're offering a 65% discount. And with that 65% discount, like I said earlier, like it's worth it. is worth it because you're not going to find it to be cheaper anywhere else. You're going to still have your dedicated payroll specialist. You're still going to have me. You guys are going to have this. Here, I want to pull something else up here. Let's see. I want to show you all of the services that would actually be offered there. So, just looking at my screen here. Let's see. You're going to have it set up for tax pay, employee pay options. Okay, so this one is going to be a little bit more than what you guys would get with your package, but for the most part, you guys are going to have that those basic. Just we're going to pay you to get your taxes taken care of for you. We're going to get your direct deposit and everything set up. We're going to alleviate all of these issues that a lot of people go through where you don't have to worry about or be concerned about that big tax bill at the end of the year. You're going to get your W-2 to be able to file. So, and you're going to be able to get it at a discounted rate that's more than affordable, you know, to be able to, where you're not paying just for yourself, where I've seen it where some people are paying $100 to $150 per month just to put themselves on payroll. And I know that that's a lot of reasons why a lot of people aren't compliant. And that's what we're here to do, is to be able to help you to be able to get the services that you need for an affordable price.
Are we paying a monthly amount or what?
It would be a monthly amount. So let's ask this question. If you could pay yourself, if you could take care of all of this and it would cost you about $35 per month, would you feel like that was worth it? Let's say that's the range that you guys would be looking at.
Okay, so somewhere around $35 per month.
Correct. Now, I would be able to give you an official proposal, and of course, it's going to be some other things that are going to come into play because some reps may be pumping in a little bit more volume than some others, so they may have to pay themselves a little bit more often. Some people may only have to pay themselves once per month. So, depending on if you those prices would vary based off of if you need to pay yourself weekly, if you need to pay yourself bi-weekly, if you need to pay yourself monthly or semi-monthly.
Okay. Okay.
But
so
it could range anywhere from, go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was just going to say a little less trips to Starbucks each month, and we can have the payroll service.
Listen, I like your example a whole lot better than the example I had to use for somebody else. They like mine better. I said, hey, they told me they like to drink. I said, hey, but you know, whatever their drink of choice was, I told them, I said, hey, one less of those per month, it's covered.
$1 a day, pretty much, if you think about it.
$1 a day.
Yeah. So
it's definitely more, because I tell people all the time, like, let's say if we just calculated, I'm gonna just do this. Let's just say I'm gonna go on the high end and say, let's say $40 per month times 12. You know, that's under $500 per month. I mean, per year. Now let's think about just the penalties or just that big tax bill. You're gonna pay a whole lot more than $500 for a year if the IRS come back and says, hey, you owe us this money. And you, like you said the lady said $60,000. Now I know that wasn't for 1 year, but my gosh, can you say, let's break that down over a course of 6 years, that's $10,000. And if you haven't been responsible with the money that needed to be taken out, unless you're gonna have to go out here and sell some houses real quick, and that whole check is getting ready to go to paying off the IRS, or you're gonna continue to just let those penalties just build up on top of it.
So what is to start this? What is it? What do they do? Reach out to you? Is it a long application process? They fill out that application.
What I'm going to do, so the way that this looks, the first thing that I would do is I would just do a discovery to find out exactly what the needs are of the person that's looking to get service. You know, the needs may be to get that 401k. So once that happens, I would have to bring that partner in. We could talk about that. But let's just say, hey, I just want payroll to make sure that my taxes are paid and we're good to go. If that's the case, I would meet with that person. I would get that tax ID number, like pretty much the things that I spoke about earlier. There is an agreement. There is no contract. There's just an agreement that's just saying that, hey, you're doing business with Paychex. It's going to have the amount of money that it is that you're going to have to pay per month. We just pretty much sign off on everything. Now, the one other thing that would need to be done is, and this would be a Tracy Newman thing, is people are going to want to set up their state IDs. That's where Tracy becomes very, very, very important, because that can be a difficult process. But as far as just getting the basics set up, it's really just a conversation, a couple of signatures, and a direct deposit form being filled out, the employee info form being filled out. I could literally get someone set up in all of about 30 minutes. Let's say 45 minutes.
One other question. So when we sign up for the service, the taxes that would be due, you would be filing the like quarterly taxes and everything on our behalf?
So what happens is that we're taking we make sure that as you're getting paid, when you're getting paid as the employee, we're making sure that you're getting your taxes taken out of the money that you're paying yourself. And then at the end of the year, you're getting a W-2, just as if you're just a regular employee of a company. Now, go ahead, Joshua.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Wayne.
Go ahead.
Yes. So yeah, and to answer that, so your responsibilities would be to file those quarterlies and annual, so the 940s and 941s. But we will do that on your behalf. So in one of the forms is a reporting agent authorization, and you're pretty much giving us permission to go ahead and take care of all of those filings on your behalf, so that you don't even have to worry about doing any of the admin work. So we're going to take care of all the administrative work for you. In addition to that, provide you with the reporting as well too, so that even before anything is transacted, you know exactly what's going to be reported, and also, you know, what's leaving your payroll account. Not to mention, we have a mobile app as well too, 5-star rated, over 190,000 reviews. So, you know, you can know and trust that you'll be able to access all of that information within a click of a fingertip, or even access it online as well.
Yeah. Someone asked a question: is there a penalty to cancel your payroll at any point? So, Victoria, no, there's no penalty to cancel. As I spoke about before, you're not under any contract. So the only thing that would happen is that as long as there's not any monies owed to us, because due to like funds not being available when employees were paid or something like that, as long as there's nothing owed to us, no, there's no type of cancellation or any type of early termination fees or anything of that nature.
But also, you want to keep in mind as well, at the end of the year, you're going to have to produce that W-2 as well. So, you know, for the reasons for canceling, I understand maybe there may be a couple of dry months, but, you know, if you could find it within yourself to keep that account active, at least, you know, to be able to have that W-2 reporting functionality at the end of the year, you know, we'll be able to take care of that admin as well and produce that on your behalf. But we understand things do happen, and it's a service agreement. So it's our service to you. So at any time, you know, if you have maybe a situation where you do have to put things on hold, definitely contact Wayne, and we'll go above and beyond to make sure that, you know, we're able to keep things in line with what's going on with you personally.
Yeah. And I always advise people, like, if you, like, as Joshua just spoke to, like, reach out to me. We figure out how we can put things on hold, because let's say if you did cancel and then as things are going again and you needed to be able to get back going, well, it'd be very difficult to be able to get that same pricing. So I would always recommend, hey, you know, put things on hold, so that way when you come back to it, you're pretty much locked in, at least until things will probably have to be renewed.
Very good. You guys have any other questions?
Just another comment as well. So if any of you are wondering, like, hey, I may need help with some of the admin work in regards to, you know, forming an entity as well too, and need some solid, clear direction, Tracy Newman, she, you know, she has experience within that industry. That's what she does. And she'll be able to at least consult with you to see, you know, maybe she can carry on that load for you to kind of streamline and simplify that process for you as well. So if you guys are thinking about, hey, well, maybe I need to form an entity and maybe set up being taxed as an S Corp, she'll walk you through that entire process. But if you're already set up, you know, or either way, regardless if you're set up or not, definitely contact Wayne, and he'll facilitate making sure that everything's in line.
Yeah, and as far as Tracy goes, as far as like getting everything set up, if you're not familiar with the process can become kind of overwhelming if you don't know it, because a lot of times people go online and they're trying to do it. They go to the wrong websites and everything like that. They're getting charged more money to be able to get those entities set up than what they should be charged. But if you want to be able to have it done the right way with no issues or anything like that, I would definitely use Tracy as a resource.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, just send them my information, please. That way, maybe send us all an intro, and that way I can chime in and they can reach out to me whenever they want.
Absolutely. But what I'm going to also do is, as a matter of fact, I'm going to do it now for everyone. I'm going to put my email address in the chat here. Here, let me put some more information here, because even if it's not you guys don't have to email me. I'm okay with you guys being able to call me directly if need be. And this is not just my business number, but my personal number as well. So you will be able to reach me anytime. And as we're going through the process of if you do decide to be able to move forward, as we go through the process, you're going to see it's actually a lot easier as far as getting you guys set up. And also, if you guys do want to be able to move forward, I don't know what position you guys are in right now currently as far as commission checks rolling in. If this is something that you guys want to be able to get done sooner than later, basically meaning before the end of the month, to sweeten everything, we normally charge a $200 implementation fee to be able to get things started. I'm willing to waive that as well. So pretty much it would cost you nothing to be able to get started. We would just choose your first run date to be able to get you guys going. I could definitely, do a rush to be able to get you guys set up and everything like that. And you guys could be paying yourself first, come first week of April. And then you can go, if you're doing, just monthly, you wouldn't be do anything again until come May. It just depends on how you guys want to set up your payroll frequency.
Well, there you guys have it. That's all your information for us real estate agents on services and what we need to do and things to consider. Definitely a lot of information there. Please go ahead and reach out to Wayne, call him or email him if you have additional questions or to get things set up for yourself. Thank you guys for joining me and sharing.
Can I finish off real quick? I'm sorry. I apologize. Absolutely. I wanted to throw one more thing out there that Wayne and I didn't mention. So, you can actually get free payroll for a year. So if you sign up on our service and if those fees are really something that you're really concerned about, $34 a month, well, we will give you $250 of invoice credits if you refer maybe another realtor who may need our services. If you're signed up on our services and you refer them and they sign up, we'll give you $250 of invoice credits. So if you refer 2 people and they start their services, it'll pay for those fees. So you don't even have to worry about that even being an issue. So there's ways that we'll reward you as well too. And I just wanted to throw that out there before we headed out. But thank you so much, Andrea, for allowing me to mention that.
All right, thank you for bringing that back. I totally just let that slip my mind. Yeah, that's our Paychecks Referral Network program. Yeah, it's great. So like Joshua said, if you do guys have other people, it's only a few people on this call. I'm pretty sure that you guys do know other agents and everything like that. And once you sign, of course you do have to be signed up. And then if for every person you refer that actually does sign up with us as well, you would get that referral credit for yourself. So that knocks a lot more down. And at the end of the day, whether you set yourself up and put yourself on payroll or not, tax is going to have to be paid. But we've actually even gotten the chance to talk about the benefits of being able to pay yourself, as Andrea spoke about earlier, as far as being able to purchase a home, something as simple as that. So as you guys go on about your day, these are things to think about. You guys have my information there in the chat. I apologize for my own personal, not even necessarily all technical difficulties, but just my difficulties with my presentation. But I'm glad we were able to reel things back in, get the information to you. And again, Andrea, I thank you for allowing us to be able to come on today.
No problem. Well, thank you guys. If you have any questions, if you want to reach out to me, if you have any questions, you can call me directly at 216-409-5390. I'll put that in the chat as well. And this is maybe your lunch time, so thank you for breaking away and joining us today. And thank you guys for sharing all of this great information with everyone. The replay will go out to the folks that were not able to join on, but register. So you may get other contacts from there as well.
Can you cut my part at the beginning out? Just cut that part out. That's not even necessary.
It's all love. It's all love.
Hey, I thank you. I appreciate you again. And we're gonna talk again in the future. I want to be able to get with you and Mark to be able to discuss the 401k opportunity. And also, if you do, as people see this, if that's something that they're interested in, maybe we can do this again and we could just, do it all at one time, opposed to just having to do it individually. And we could go ahead and get all the information out.
Absolutely.
All right.
All right, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks again, everyone.
Have a good day, everybody.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye.